As most of the world practices social distancing and self-isolation, the planet still spins. Now more than ever, people are relying on their media providers for their information. A story which is being buried due to the information overload from the global pandemic are the wildfires which continue to spread, but could they be the thread on which we can pull to reveal a hidden plan for the world? 963,000 hectares of Russia's Krasnoyarsk region burns, the flames coming increasingly closer to the defunct nuclear power plant at Chernobyl. Thailand is also fighting its own fires. Doi Mon Dok mountain in Chiang Mai in the northern region of the country is ablaze. Over the past year, we have seen Australia devastated. Vast tracts of forest in Brazil, America and Africa have also been burning. So what is going on, and could there be a link to energy weapons? Why would they have been fired? And what is the end goal? Let's take a look. Welcome to IF, videos on history, mystery and the strange. Hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you never miss a video again. Many are filled with fear as fire rages in the Ukraine. Firefighters facing an uncontrollable blaze that is eating its way through the forests and quickly approaches the abandoned Chernobyl nuclear plant. This has sent radiation readings up in the areas of the wildfires. Many fear that the burning trees, which have kept the radiation that leaked from the meltdown which occurred almost 34 years ago to the day, locked within them, will release their poison. This would have an immediate impact on the 3 million people living locally and then go on to spread around the globe. Adding this to the radiation from Fukushima, and we could be in some serious trouble. Wildfires continue to destroy forests across Thailand, especially in the north. Satellite images charting the progress of the large fires have shown the number of hotspots in the north of the country has risen from 823 to 1,334. A total of 3,238 forest fires which were recorded nationwide. Just a few short months back, fires raged through Australia, burning an estimated 18 million hectares. What became known as the Black Summer began with several serious uncontrolled fires in June of 2019. 34 people lost their lives and over 1 billion animals were killed, this pushing many species to the brink of extinction. The causes of these disasters have been attributed to the normal cycle of fire seasons and an unusually dry period which preceded this, making grasses and forests highly flammable as they had become so dry. A human element was also said to be to blame, with irresponsible campers and arsonists setting fires, but some say there could be another cause, this cause being way more nefarious and secret, and many claim they have images to prove their theory. I am talking about the deployment of a new type of weapon. DEWs, or direct energy weapons, are a group of armaments that the militaries of the world have been shifting focus towards. Direct energy weapons are ranged weapons that damage targets using highly focused energy, including lasers, microwaves and particle beams. Michael Griffin, the Under-Secretary of Defense for Research and Engineering, said during a keynote address at the 2019 Defense News Conference, "We're looking at high-powered microwaves. We're deferring work on neutral particle beams indefinitely. It's just not near enough term." Across the pond, the UK's Naval Weapons Programme was established to bridge the so-called Valley of Death, speed up S&T maturation of DEWs, and prepare the defence community for future acquisitions and deployment. And then on April 9th of last year, Acting Defence Secretary Patrick Shanahan told of how China's PLA was deploying direct energy weapons, adding that Russia was also doing the same. These comments suggest that there is a possibility that there could be a series of secret strikes going on, each country firing what could be conceived as a warning shot. Fire a DEW into a low population area to show just what it can do, and have your enemies fearing a strike against a more densely populated target. The types of weapons these countries are developing and are said to be firing, if the latest claims are to be believed, are technologies that produce a beam of concentrated EM energy or atomic or subatomic particles. A DE weapon, or direct energy weapon, is a system using DE primarily as a direct means to damage or destroy an adversary's equipment, facilities and personnel. DE warfare is a military action involving the use of DE weapons, devices and countermeasures to either cause direct damage or destruction to their equipment, facilities and people, or determine, exploit, reduce or prevent hostile use of the EMS through damage, destruction and disruption. A description given by the website stop5g.cz, which is a good source of information, gives us an outline of these weapons. It says, lasers and microwaves make up the two largest types of DEWs, but different technologies utilize different parts of the electromagnetic spectrum. I don't want to get into too much of the technical aspects. If you are interested in that, there is much more information to be found on how these weapons work and the idea that 5G is of a similar type online. I want to focus on the idea that these weapons are being fired today, and if the vicious wildfires we have seen are anything to do with this. Let's look at what direct energy weapons would offer for those that wish to acquire them. They have pinpoint accuracy. They offer a low cost per use and maintenance. They have virtually unlimited magazine capacity. They are simple to track, aim and shoot with sophisticated sensors. They are less lethal if tuned properly. They can operate in all weather conditions. They can engage multiple targets at once. They limit collateral damage. Their energy travels at the speed of light. Their energy can pass through the walls at distances of hundreds of meters or even miles. They are silent and offer plausible deniability of their use, that final quality being the most relevant for the ideas I am sharing here. So now we know what they can do, let's see if we can find the evidence for their firing. Chemtrailplanet.com writes, the evidence that the fires were a result of direct energy weapons in the form of lasers and microwaves, at least in part, is undeniably strong. There are also theories of smart meters or transformers blowing up being a cause. They might have contributed, but that wouldn't explain cars also being toasted with no burnt path between the houses and these cars. It is not at all unfathomable that more than one weapon could have been used to ensure the desired effect. He goes on to link DEWs with his September 11th attacks on the World Trade Centers. He is not alone in his ideas. Many Australians believe the fires were started by these lasers. The conspiracy tells that the bushfires were started using weapons which harness the focus power of technology, such as lasers or microwaves. The very same as described by the previously mentioned ministers and defense representatives. Many images have been captured of strange beams breaking through the clouds, and the pattern of destruction seems to be targeted. So, we have to ask, why? The claim is that the fires are part of the UN-led global plot to depopulate the world and seize control for a one-world government under the guise of climate change, something which is commonly known as Agenda 21. This idea was laughed at by many, but as we see the world around us is quickly changing, we need to step back and look at these ideas because there is more happening than most realize. Mainstream news outlets are openly publishing stories that the world has now changed. The Sunday Guardian printed, "While memory is short and the world finds ways to bounce back, mega shocks tend to create lasting, if not permanent changes in the world order." The article goes on to ask, so how does the world change? What does the new world order look like? As we read an ever-increasing stream of stories that say it is time for a single one-world government, search for ex-UK PM Gordon Brown's comments, and others say that economic collapse is near and that the ideas like a single global currency and universal income for all could save us, we see that the world of only last year has now disappeared. Legal changes are happening globally and human rights are being eroded, this all in the guise of protecting you. Censorship is on the rise. Recently, David Icke appeared on a live stream for a popular channel called London Real. Since the broadcast, YouTube, UK Ofcom, LinkedIn and Facebook have been taking down the interview, and other content that they deem to be inappropriate. Freedom of speech and allowing people to question and think is always the first thing to go in a totalitarian state. The rash of articles published that praise the increasing robot workforce for picking up the slack now that people aren't allowed to leave their homes. Even Canadian drone company Dragonfly announcing pandemic drones that will use computer vision systems to monitor temperatures and heart and respiratory rates of people from above. They will then single out anyone sneezing or coughing, a hint at where the world is going. The New World Order is not going to be communism, socialism or fascism. We are seeing the birth of a global technocracy. What do you think? Are DEWs being deployed in a program of ever more devastating disasters, all of which are being used to force ever more draconian control and establish a new world order? Let me know what you think in the comments below. I hope this video finds you well, and if you enjoyed it, please don't forget to hit that red button, like and share. You can catch the latest by searching We Are If. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.